All right, let's go into the study findings. So this is from the study paper. So the primary outcome assessment at 6 months after screening showed that compared with the delayed control group, participants who had received psilocybin reported significantly greater positive changes in their religious practice, attitudes about their religion, and effectiveness as a religious leader, as well as in their non-religious attitudes, moods, and behavior. Matt, do you want to summarize some of the interesting findings?
Yeah, so I mean, there were a number of, categories. I mean, but generally people said it was a positive experience for them. They found it very spiritual and of religious importance. And they generally said that it helped them in both life and in their religious practice. So, in broad strokes, just very similar to our earlier work in spiritually interested people. You have a few kind of more particular things here because they are religious, there are clergy members, so you can ask them about, the effects on their professional role as a clergy member. And a lot of people said that there were positive changes, not all, but so I don't know. I mean, maybe you can
Yeah. So at the
show
16
the
month,
table, like
yeah,
table three, if you
at
like.
six, one thing I want to highlight at 16 months follow up, most, which is 79% clergy members, strongly endorsed that the experience had positive effects on their religious practices like prayer or meditation and their daily sense of the sacred. And most, which is 71%, reported positive changes in their appreciation of religious traditions other than their own,
Right.
which is
So
really
both of those are kind of interesting and generally consistent with, again, the work in healthy normals. I mean, it's not everybody, it's generally two-thirds, but that in and of itself is very interesting and impressive.
Let's put up some of these tables here to go into a little bit more depth. So this is table two.
Mm-hmm.
So rating of spiritually significant experiences during the past 5 months. Um, changes in your contemplative prayer or meditation practices.
Statistically, it seems, that we can reliably say, yeah, the group had received psilocybin was significantly higher on that rating.
Yeah,
So, a higher percentage of people saying it was amongst the five most spiritually significant experiences of their lifetime, that it changed their contemplative prayer or meditative practices, it changed their attitudes about spirituality and religion, um, their appreciation or understanding of their own religious tradition, and of other religious traditions. Etc.
yeah. Here it's feel more effective in their role as a religious leader. That was also significant, but so was
Mhm.
feeling less effective in their role as a religious leader. I didn't see that coming.
Right. So, yeah, probably because you have, a whole lot of nothing in the delayed group. There's not much change. It's just a random 6 months that's passing. And amongst the psilocybin group, you get people reporting different things. Some people, saying, yeah, like it made me a better pastor or what have you. And other people saying, no, it's actually caused me some problems. And yeah, I'd say that now overall it appears that I think kind of in totality, it looks like the large majority of people found it positive, and that was their attribution that it was positive. But it's not like there weren't any negatives, and so this kind of rate or that general profile doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, it's kind of like what you see in the therapeutic studies. I mean, the remarkable thing is that the large majority, it seems like it's really helping them. But then there's other people that it either doesn't do anything, or even in some cases, they'll say it made some things worse. I mean, it's a very powerful intervention, um, and it can kind of go both ways.
Yeah, yeah. I'm curious what that even means. Feel less effective in role as religious leader. Like, is that to do with like the psychologically you feel less effective because of some challenging or painful experience from psychedelics, which can happen?
It
Or
could be. I mean, ultimately, it's just. I mean, this is the actual. This is the wording that the participant sees and what they're rating. So it really just completely depends on how each individual interprets that question. So, like, yeah, the
Yeah.
way you just express it, that seems like a reasonable guess. I mean, you could speculate a number of things. That gosh, they felt kind of bewildered, and were kind of like their their focus was on their own kind of their self. So they were, and this happens with psychedelics. It can happen that they don't really have the resources to be focused on other people, or like like someone could say like, I didn't even
Right.
know what was going on with me. I had to like really focus my time and figure out like what the heck has happened to me, good and bad, how to make sense of this. And it just a lot of time that's self-focused. So you can
Right.
imagine like maybe there's some, I didn't have the wherewithal to really put my attention on other people. That could be, and I'm
Right.
speculating here, so
Yeah, sure.
we didn't break it down further than that. I mean, we got some like written analyses from various people that I don't know. There was a paper planned for that. I don't know if it's ever going to be published, but one based on qualitative interviews with people that
Yeah.
could speak to that potentially.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. I see what you're saying, and that it could be. We're obviously speculating here, but having these two very intense, possibly mystical experiences that one has never had anything like that before, maybe, or maybe they have, but
can be disorienting. Yeah. Yeah.
it's opened up these doors in your consciousness that you didn't know were there, or maybe you did know they were there and they were opened again, and you. The fact that a drug could even do that is kind of crazy. And what does that mean about yourself and your thoughts and your consciousness? And what does it mean about God and the nature of reality? Like, that can all prompt a very deep self inquiry about what the hell just happened. And so that could, in theory, make you less effective in
Yeah.
spiritually leading other people.
Yeah.
This one is also interesting. Less passion for sharing your religious understanding / faith. That was
Yeah.
substantially greater in the psilocybin group. That's a negative or a positive, depending on your perspective.
So let's see,
Obviously,
like less passion. So interestingly, that the higher numbers are in the delayed group. So the nature of that difference is
yeah.
that it's the delayed group that reported higher.
I see.
Yeah, so the delayed group and we can only speculate, but these are also small. This is on a 5-point scale, and the average response was 0.56.
Okay.
So it was
Gotcha.
statistically significant, but it was kind of a blip in terms of I wouldn't make a whole lot out of it. Like there was a few people that gave a number above zero on for that particular question. I guess, who knows, maybe they were frustrated doing this silly study and then they're randomized to wait for 6 months, and so then I don't know. I could only
Yeah.
make up a story, like
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe that's just capturing, maybe during that, had they never signed up for the study during that 6 months, maybe that's a progressive decline in their willingness to share their faith with others. And so we just captured like kind of and it could be that the psilocybin experience halted or prevented, attenuated that slight decline that we saw that would have otherwise have been seen over that 6-month period. It's hard to say, but not a big effect. Again, the average rating was only a half a point on a 5-point scale.
Also, there was a significant difference in religious professionals feeling more certain about a positive role of religion in the world. So after the psilocybin sessions, they felt
Right.
more certainty that religion is a positive force in the world, which is
But
interesting.
interestingly, you saw that both groups, to a relatively similar degree, I mean, on average, in the delayed group, it was a little bit less than 2. And in the delayed group, it was a little less than 3, again, on a 5-point scale. So both groups are saying that compared to the beginning of the study, they were kind of more, on a moderate range of the scale, sort of in the middle. They were more certain about the positive role of religion in the world, but that was somewhat higher, and it was statistically significantly higher in the psilocybin group.
And to clarify, this is the delayed intervention control. So this is people who haven't done the psychedelic sessions, and the immediate intervention, that's people right after the 2 sessions.
No, that's after That's not right after the 2 sessions. That's about 6 months later.
6 months later, yeah. Whereas the delayed intervention control, they haven't done it yet.
Correct. Yeah.
And
It
is it
was
the
6 months after their kind of intake into the study.
and is it in both of these? Is it the same people, or are they different people in each group?
No, these are 2 different groups of people. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, and increased. There was an increased tolerance for religious diversity among clergy member after the study, after the psilocybin
Yeah.
session.
But again, you also see, it's not that different, kind of like that last one. It's a little bit below 2 out of 5 points for the delayed group and a
Right.
little bit above 3 on the psilocybin group. But, it was reliably higher, but not higher by that much. So you can only speculate why are the people in the delayed group, why are they now more tolerant of religious diversity?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe they've been reading more about psychedelics because they got into the study and their mind is already going into areas of exploring alternative paths of spirituality. I don't know.
Yeah. 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 And across the board, like positive attitudes about life, um, that increased after the psilocybin session. Positive attitudes about self, positive mood changes, all the psychological effects,
Mm-hmm.
altruistic positive social effects also went up after the psilocybin sessions. Positive behavior changes.
Although positive behavior changes, I don't think
Yeah,
was
yeah,
significant.
that actually says is not significant. Although the number does go up, but
Right, not statistically.
right.
So, both,
Okay.
36% in the delayed group, 54% in the psilocybin groups.
Okay.
Not a big difference.